Kia ora, what's up, what's going on? Welcome to my channel. So I've just reassembled this PS5 sitting on the table here. This is the disc version, so it has overheating problems. To remedy this, watch the rest of this video. So all you do is take the whole thing apart and then get down to the APU and then grab one of these Q-tips, and what you want to do is get into the liquid metal and you want to squeeze it around a little bit, make sure it's evenly distributed, because what happens over time, a lot of the time most people will have the PlayStation 5 in the vertical position, and what happens is gravity will slowly pull down that liquid metal and it will expose the APU, and then it starts to overheat and then it will shut down. So if there's not an even amount of liquid metal distributed over the APU or the heatsink, it's going to shut down. So all you do is follow this video and you'll be sweet as. Sure.
So first things first, take the console apart. Going to remove the white outer casing. What you do is lift up the top slightly and pull it down towards you. You do that on both sides. Next you want to take some kind of prying tool or flathead screwdriver or a plastic screwdriver and lift off these bits here. There's one on each side. Now I'm going to remove this cover. You need a Phillips screwdriver. Then I'm going to proceed to remove all of the Torx screws on the casing, and also 2 screws underneath depending on which PS5 you have. Going to remove the fan protector or fan shroud. Now I'm going to lift up this sticker so I can unplug the fan connector. I'm not going to pull it all the way off, just enough to get in there and pull it out. And then remove the fan unit. You can see there it's pretty dirty. And underneath the sticker here there is also a Torx screw that needs to be removed. I'm going to flip it over and unscrew or remove the 2 Torx screws. I'm going to shimmy and remove the casing. With this case here, it has the connector for the disk drive connected to it, so I need to pull that off in order to fully remove the case. I'm going to go in with the vacuum and clean up. As you can see, there's quite a lot of dirt. I'm going to try not to touch sensitive parts with the vacuum in case I accidentally suck something up that has come off or is going to come off. After it's finished, I'm going to press the little silver tab that is on the ribbon, as you can see there, and then pull it out, and then simply lift out the disk drive. And I'm going to hit it with the vacuum again. Next, I'm going to remove the Wi-Fi wires. Just held down with tape. I'm just going to cut into these because I am going to replace it anyway with fresh tape. Now I'm going to unplug the two small ribbons, one at the top, one on the side, and then I'm going to unscrew all the Torx screws. Next, we want to lift off this plate from the motherboard. If you're having trouble trying to get it off, use a heat gun to heat it up slightly, the whole entire area, till it's nice and warm, and then it'll make it easier to remove it. Once you've done that, you need to press down on the tab on the big ribbon in order to remove it, and then pull it out. Now we can lift the whole entire motherboard and back plate out from the other side of the casing. Now I'm going to go at it with the vacuum and clean it up again, and then I'm going to pull out the PSU, or the power supply unit, and give that a clean as well. So as you can see here, there is heaps of dust and debris on the heatsink cooling fins. That is quite bad. This is the other reason why it overheats. So it needs to come off, and I'm going to blast it with the vacuum. I'm going to remove the heatsink clamp, 2 screws. So going to remove this part here that protects a lot of the electronic components. Now it's time to remove the motherboard from the heatsink casing. You might want to use a heat gun on warm temperature. Make sure it's not hot. Just give it a few seconds to warm the board up, and it will enable you to remove it. On closer inspection, you can see where the liquid metal, the silver stuff in the center there, has pulled. You see that big lump there, right there. This is from it being in the vertical position. Again, like I was saying, gravity pulls it down. So what we want to do, we want to grab a Q-tip and mix it around. Again, you can see it there on the plate. There is a big lump right there. This needs to be flattened out, and all you need to use is a Q-tip and just stir it around. Just go in there with the Q-tip and just start moving it around to try and flatten it out as much as possible. You're going to get some of it on your Q-tip, but it's minimal. Just keep it facing the same way if possible. And just mix it around. There is before and after on the heatsink. Big difference. There are small gaps, but it's better than having the whole thing exposed. Now we're going to jump on the motherboard on the die and do the same thing. Mix it around until you can get it as even as you can. Then again, before and after, big difference. So if you feel like there is not enough liquid metal there, simply just add a little bit more. You can get this in the description below. Now I'm going to reassemble the whole entire console. And just simply reverse the process. While I am reassembling the console, I will clean all the different parts of it as I go. Now reinserting the PSU or the power supply unit. Then the motherboard and heatsink plate back into the casing. Then connect the main ribbon. Then the ribbon at the top and the one on the side. Once that's done, I'm going to place the plate back on, and then connect the two Wi-Fi connections. I'm going to use my own tape to tape down the wires. I'm going to bring the disk drive in and connect it. Press down on the silver tab on the back and slide in the ribbon. And then bring in the other part of the plastic casing. Also plugging in the connector. I'm going to go in and screw back in all the Torx screws. To screw the cover back on. Now the two screws or Torx screws on the back end. I'm going to clean up the white outer casings. I'm going to clean up the fan unit. This is going to take a while as the fins or the blades on this thing are quite close together and it's pretty difficult to get at, but I use a Q-tip to clean it up and some cleaner. place the fan back into the console and plug it back in. Remember, you need to lift up the sticker. You also need to re-plug in the connection for the disk drive. Now I'm going to screw in the grill or the fan protector with the 4 screws. Then the 2 plastic parts, one on the back, one on the front. Now I'm going to slide on the outer casing, flip it over and do the same thing, and we are all done.
And most importantly, once you've redistributed the liquid metal or replaced it, you need to lie the console down in the horizontal position, not the vertical, because it's just going to do the same thing again. Gravity's just going to pull that liquid down and make, pull it, in other words, which is not good. So you want to leave it down in the horizontal, as you can see there. If it is the disc version, you need to make sure that it is on the bottom of the console, not the top. You want the fan blowing upward. If you're not sure which way it is, all you do is you take the cover off, you just slide it off and just feel which way the air is blowing from the fan unit. So what I do before I give it back to the customer, I'll do what is called a soak test. So I'll plug it in, turn it on and run it on a game that usually it crashes on or shuts down on, and I'll just leave it on all day and all night, see how it goes. That's it for this video. If you learned something today, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Ciao.